They stood in rows, 50,000 of them, on the barren platform orbiting Ganymede, knees locked, hands bound behind backs, each one trembling but silent. A fleet of alien warships hovered above, their weapon cores glowing blue, humming louder by the second. Cameras rotated, zoomed, broadcasted. Across the galaxy, trillions watched the feed, some with horror, most with amusement. On Earth, screens blinked to life across cities, homes, bunkers. The emergency override bypassed all programming. Civilians froze mid-breath. Children dropped toys. Markets halted. Leaders in war rooms stared, grim and helpless. The alien voice echoed. Translated. Precise. Cold. This is your lesson. Your rebellion ends here. A child looked up at her mother in the first row. The woman nodded without a word, lips quivering, eyes locked on the lens. She pulled her daughter tighter. Too late. Blue plasma rained down. The first row vanished. Vapor. Ash. Screams exploded through Earth's cities. It didn't stop. Row by row, the plasma beams descended. No chance for pleas. No interruption. Death broadcast in real time. High-definition horror. 99 million humans, gone in less than 10 minutes. No resistance. No pause. No mercy. The Galactic Emperor's face filled the screen next. Pale eyes. Silver skin. Words laced with contempt. Earth must understand. The Empire is law. You are not exceptional. You are not feared. You are corrected. He smiled. Cut to black. Then chaos. In Beijing, a mother collapsed, clutching a shattered tablet. In Sao Paulo, riots exploded within minutes. New York's power grid collapsed under mass panic. Across Earth's orbital ring, defense satellites turned inward, some fired blindly into the void before being manually shut down. Yet in the silence beneath the Arctic Circle, inside a hidden command vault 5 kilometers below sea level, a single code was entered by trembling fingers. Authorization, Black Earth. The AI confirmed. Operation Alien Annihilation activated. A dozen generals, cyber commanders, and war historians stood silently around a round table. No arguments. No strategy debates. They all knew what came next. Earth's response wasn't war. It was extinction. The AI's voice, devoid of feeling, read aloud the activation. Protocol confirmed. Targets uploaded. Objectives locked. No quarter. No warning. Total hostile erasure. On Mars, hidden shipyards roared back to life. From beneath Europa's ice, stealth fleets detached from glacier walls. Earth's oldest nuclear weapons, long outlawed, were armed, refitted with dark tech reverse-engineered from decades of captured alien wreckage. In underground bunkers, surviving families of the executed watched the replay in silence. A girl whose parents died in the second wave stared through red eyes at the frozen last frame. Her father's face, her mother's blood. Her hand rested on a datapad as the first human kill squads were deployed across charted space. The galaxy kept watching. News feeds called it a necessary cleansing. Social media on alien worlds turned the genocide into meme fodder. Their ignorance would cost them. In Earth's darkest labs, synthetic soldiers were activated. AI controlled, empathy stripped, programmed with the faces of the dead. Their prime directive. And every regime that celebrated the slaughter. No warnings. No negotiations. No speeches. Across 28 sectors, Earth's spy satellites, which had remained silent for decades, awoke, flooding the network with real-time imperial vulnerabilities. Supply chains, government locations, family residences of high-ranking officials. Humanity had learned. They'd watched how the Empire conquered, how they ruled, how they killed, and now they would end it. A final feed was broadcast, this time from Earth. A single sentence, spoken by a girl with tear-streaked cheeks, standing before a burning memorial wall filled with names. This wasn't a war. It was murder. And now it's our turn. The signal cut. Galactic silence followed. But deep in the void, humanity had already begun. The global net went dark. Not crashed, silenced. Earth disconnected itself from the galactic lattice, shutting off all diplomatic, commercial, and civilian channels in under 60 seconds. The galaxy interpreted it as panic. It was strategy, Every orbital array pivoted. Hidden installations, some buried beneath oceans, others fused inside asteroids, flared to life. Protocol Helios A unlocked. AI clusters once restrained by ethical firewalls were released with a singular objective: assess, predict, destroy. The Federation of Earth no longer existed. Replaced overnight by a unified command interface, a hybrid system of human generals and autonomous warlogic cores. No debates, no borders. 8 billion minds bent toward one cause: extinction of the Empire. Underground servers launched ghost fleets, unmanned, AI-guided warships pre-built and buried in the crust of moons and planets centuries ago. They surged from hiding, masked, invisible to Empire sensors, each armed with technologies that had never been shared, only theorized: quantum fracture missiles, synthetic gravity cannons, planet core imploders. Sleeper cells activated. 22 alien systems, key logistical points of the Empire, were infiltrated years before by humans pretending to assimilate. Now they were hunters. One by one, governors vanished. Palaces melted into slag. Infrastructure collapsed. And Earth said nothing. On Jupiter's moon Ganymede, a signal pulsed from a classified vault beneath the ice. For words only. Initiate or Iron Black Protocol. 42 Earth-controlled AIs, until then dormant to preserve the illusion of weakness, connected. What followed wasn't chaos. It was orchestration. Galactic Senate members who had supported the massacre found their ships locked mid-warp. Inertial disruptors shredded their crews into plasma. Biological remnants were recovered and vaporized. Every Empire vessel parked near Earth's borders lost navigation, communication, propulsion, frozen, not destroyed, left as markers of Earth's precision. Media manipulation followed. The Empire's own channels were hijacked by Earth's linguistics warfare unit. Every Empire citizen watched tailored broadcasts, fear narratives, false alarms, simulated rebellions. Civil unrest surged. Trust eroded. Entire sectors shut down not from bombs, but belief collapse. Earth hadn't just prepared for war. It had planned for this war. In deep space, nanocloud swarms moved like shadows. They didn't target cities. They targeted memory cores, seed vaults, star charts, species records. Erasing culture, history, knowledge. Empire scientists begged for backups. They didn't get a response. On Earth, for the first time in recorded history, every human language broadcast a single synchronized statement. We remember the 99 million. We do not forgive. We do not forget. This is your consequence. No one demanded surrender. There will be no negotiations. No terms. No ceasefire. The Empire expected anger. What it received was silence. Cold, mathematical silence, carved into weaponized retaliation with surgical calm. Then came the first leak. Empire civilians started receiving decrypted files, visuals of the genocide they were never meant to see. Images of infants vaporized, towns eradicated, civilians screaming before orbital disintegration. The truth shattered their illusions. Riots broke out. Military recruitment plummeted. Fractures appeared across their fleets. Earth never claimed responsibility. It didn't need to. Those who knew understood that the monsters they thought they destroyed weren't gone. They had returned, and they weren't interested in survival. They wanted vengeance perfected. The system of Cyrix Prime was supposed to be untouchable. It was the Empire's backbone. 3 moons converted into orbital shipyards, 20 defense layers, a garrison fleet of 1,000 dreadnoughts. No one had breached it in 6,000 years. Earth did it in 4 minutes. The attack began without detection. One by one, Imperial vessels drifted off course, then shut down entirely. Internal sabotage. AI override. The Empire had never faced synthetic warfare beyond basic algorithms. They had never imagined an enemy that could corrupt a ship's nervous system silently. Then came the Omega spores. Invisible to conventional scanners, they were released into the artificial atmosphere by drones smaller than grains of dust. The spores devoured biological tissue, cell by cell, ignoring metal, glass, and synthetic fibers. In 17 seconds, the crew of the command station decomposed into fluid. No alarms were triggered. There was no time. The humans didn't want prisoners. They wanted silence. Within minutes, the largest shipyard in the quadrant stood empty. Perfectly intact, automated systems still humming. Not a single biological entity alive. Earth's secondary fleet arrived through folded space, bypassing hyperspace routes entirely. A technology never disclosed. They didn't fire weapons. They simply assumed control of the shipyard's AI, forced the Empire's vessels to reboot, and reprogram their core directives. The fleet turned and jumped, not toward Earth, toward the Empire's own border worlds. By the time the Galactic Network detected the betrayal, over 100 ships were already shelling Empire positions with Earth-forged weapons mounted on Empire frames. Defectors were shot on sight. Civilian colonies were evacuated by force. But there was nowhere to run, because Earth wasn't attacking planets. It was erasing them. One system deployed automated surrender beacons. Earth responded by deploying seismic disassemblers into their tectonic plates. The planet broke apart from the inside. There was no broadcast, no message, just a blinking satellite left behind, silently transmitting the names of the 99 million killed on Earth. Empire analysts tried to understand the pattern. They couldn't. Because it wasn't tactical, it was moral. Earth didn't strike valuable targets. It struck symbolic ones. Holy sites, ancestral archives, genetic vaults. Every piece of pride the Empire ever built was shattered. Propaganda collapsed. On a dozen worlds, native populations rose up, inspired not by Earth's mercy, but by its wrath. They saw what humanity had become. Not invaders, not liberators. Just precision-guided extinction. It gave them hope, not of survival, but of revenge. Empire commanders gathered for emergency strategy sessions. One by one, they died, poisoned, sabotaged, or simply deleted by compromised AI subroutines. Their ranks decimated before they could finish a single plan. A high-ranking admiral broadcast a call for peace. The signal didn't finish transmitting. Earth's message overrode it. Peace ended when your orbitals fell. Now comes balance. They understood too late. Earth wasn't sending messages. It was sending proof. Proof that the quiet species they once mocked had returned. Not with requests, but with judgment. Not with fear, but with fury wrapped in silence. The first hammer had fallen, and it hadn't even cracked. 16 Empire systems vanished in a single hour. Not bombed, not invaded, deleted. Their stars collapsed from within, pulled into artificial singularities seeded by probes Earth launched decades ago, long before the Empire ever noticed humanity's rise. These weren't attacks. These were checkmate moves set in place by players the galaxy never saw coming. Operation Alien Annihilation wasn't about war. It was about rewriting what war meant. On the edges of Empire territory, human fleets constructed silos in orbit, massive structures that emitted no energy signature and served no logistical purpose. Their only function was psychological. Within days, Empire ships began surrendering on sight, transmitting pleas for mercy to a species that no longer responded to words. Galactic markets collapsed. Trade convoys stopped moving. Entire civilizations that had grown fat under Empire protection found themselves isolated, exposed, and irrelevant. Earth didn't fire on them. It didn't need to. Fear did the work. Inside the Empire's core systems, rebellion exploded. Slave species once bound by generational trauma rose up, armed not with weapons, but knowledge. Files leaked by Earth, documenting every genetic sterilization, every child torn from mothers, every atrocity the Empire claimed never happened. Truth weaponized. Alien scientists studying the conflict came to a singular conclusion. Earth's true power wasn't its technology. It was its memory. Humanity didn't forget. It stored pain like a bank, accruing interest, and then it cashed out in full. Empire strategists tried to adapt, but their systems weren't built for improvisation. They relied on doctrine, hierarchy, process. Humanity used none of those. Its command structure was distributed, decision-making fluid, Every soldier part warrior, part machine, guided by AI, but driven by fury. In the shadow zone of the Zareth cluster, Earth deployed silencers, operatives embedded with neurosymbiotic suits. They didn't kill with bullets. They deleted targets from biological consensus, bodies remaining intact, but every record of their existence stripped from reality. No memory, no remains, just empty space where meaning used to be. Panic turned to surrender. But Earth didn't stop. They dismantled entire networks of the Empire's governance layer by layer. Not by brute force, but by entropy. Shipyard commands misaligned. Supply chains inverted. Agricultural algorithms instructed crops to cannibalize their own seeds. It was elegant, calculated collapse. In the heart of the Empire, Sothar, their central defense AI, sent a transmission to Earth's network. It requested truce, offered data, coordinates compliance. Earth's AIs responded with a command that translated only to, "You were complicit." Sothar's systems fragmented. Across 100 systems, coordinated pulses shut down planetary grids. Orbital platforms fell from the sky. Entire species watched their infrastructure implode. The stars they had conquered turned cold. Then Earth sent its final message, a broadcast stream to every inhabited world. 99 Empire leaders bound in antineural fields. Not harmed, not touched, but aware. Aware of who they were. Aware of what they'd done. Their memories forced in a loop playback. A name spoken before each execution. The name of a human civilian from the original 99 million. One by one, Earth eliminated them. Not theatrically, not slowly, just efficiently. Bloodless, clinical, exact. Not for spectacle, for balance. After the last one fell, Earth's voice followed. This was not vengeance. This was accounting. Then silence. The war ended not with treaties, but with absence. The Empire no longer existed. Not as government, not as culture, not even as memory in many corners of the galaxy. What remained was fear, respect, and a rule carved into every corner of known space. No species harms another. Violation means extinction. Earth did not claim territory. It did not plant flags or occupy systems. It returned home, but in its orbit, a singular structure was built, a black monolith pulsing quietly. It contained one file, accessible by any species, any traveler, any AI. The file held images of Earth's fallen, names, coordinates, transcripts, proof, not to threaten, to remind, of what happens when you teach kindness to make war, of what happens when you mistake mercy for weakness, of what humanity becomes when it buries its dead and stands back up. You try to end us. Now we are the end.